I happened to browse through the Stripsavaganza hashtag and saw some of the shawls that were completed and was like, how come it looks a bit different from mine? Hello, welcome back to Knitobito Knitting Podcast episode 6. My name is Anne. I'm your host and also the owner of ITOBITO Handdyed Yarn from Osaka, Japan. Let's see! It's already October! So many happenings this month! But let's jump into FO first. My first FO is this! The Venetia shawl! Finally, I finished this whole shawl. It's only a one skein shawl, but it took me forever. It took me more than a year to complete this. I don't know why, but I finally completed it. And bad news is I failed in winning at Yarn Chicken. I had to add on some yarns at the end of the shawl. But I guess it works, right? It sort of works. This yellow. The color that I use for the shawl is called Spark Joy. It has a lot of popping neon colors throughout on a white base. And the extra yarn that I use at the end is called Ray. It's actually a experimental color when I first did it. It's already released, of course, the color is already released, but this was actually an experimental color before I put it on in the shop. So it might look a bit different, a bit brighter than what I'm selling in ITOBITO. But yeah, it happens all the time that some of the colors that I use in my projects are actually experimental colors, and those are not the ones that I'm selling in the shop, because what am I gonna do with them if I don't use them, right? And I cannot really sell my experimental colors in the shop. So that's where they end up in my projects. Okay. So I'm very happy. Actually, I'm not that happy because the way I block it, if you can see, the lace part is not really showing. It's like stretched towards this side. It's not stretched towards this side. Because when I blocked it, I do not want to expand the ribbing part. That's because that's how I usually block my my projects. But if I don't do that, I couldn't stretch the lace part. So I'm not sure how I should do it. If you have any suggestion, please let me know. I would like to reblock it again to make this look nicer, the lace part look nicer. Now it's not really visible, I don't think. Yeah. And this this shawl is actually for a friend's birthday, but because the end of the shawl seems a bit weird, I'm not sure if I should give it as a gift, as a present for her birthday. So I'm thinking of using it for my own, but at the same time, it looks a bit small for my frame. I have a pretty big frame, so it looks mini. Unless I style it a different way, maybe I can do something like simple knot like this. Does it look weird? I'm not sure how to style this shawl. Yeah, I'll think of something. And for my friend's birthday, which already passed like 2 times, probably I'll make her something else in future. I'm not sure what, but I have some problem. How do I put it? Okay. It's just a one skein shawl, but I did not have the will to knit it fast and finish it faster than what than I wanted to. I mean, I wanted to finish it faster, but I couldn't. I don't know why. Maybe it just didn't stick with me, the pattern. So yeah, but for if I showed you before the Amirisu shawl, that one was actually a pretty is much bigger than this, and it took me only 9 days to finish with all the beadings and stuff. But I feel that even though it's simpler, it's a simpler shawl, I feel that it's also giving much more joy to see how it grow. And yeah, probably I might want to do another Amirisu shawl to give it as a gift, but let's see how. Okay, so one FO done, so happy. The next one is a big one. I promised in a few videos ago that I would finish my strip extravaganza shawl before the next MKAL, and I have fulfilled my promise. Ta-da! Can you see me? Can you see me? Yes, this is a giant, my god. Took me so long to finish this whole thing. Well, of course, I took some time off in the middle, but when I wanted to continue back, especially the last few lines, the last few rows, it took me forever to finish. The I-cord, don't get me started on the I-cord binding. That was crazy. And not only that, I did a mistake on section 5. So this is section 1. Let me show you. This is section 1, no problem. Section 2, which is this part, no problem. This is section 3. Section 3 took me the longest time, I think. And this is section 4, also very straightforward. I did not know that there's a section 5, I missed it, and I jumped to section 6, which is the chevron edges, this part. I missed out the 5th part, which is this. So I've already proceeded into my second contrast color for the chevron section 6, and then I happened to browse through the strip extravaganza hashtag and saw some of the shawls that were completed, and was like, how come it looks a bit different from mine? So I started to compare mine with theirs, and I found that I missed out section 5. So I had to frog the whole thing back to section 4, at the end of section 4, and redo section 5. I'm actually quite happy that I found a mistake at that time. If not, I would have bind off without knowing that it was a mistake, and in the end it could be a disaster, or it could also become something else, and it's not strip extravaganza anymore. This is probably my most ambitious shawl ever, and I'm very happy with the result. It's so huge. It's a shanklet. That's what Steven West said. It's bigger than a shawl, but smaller than a blanket. But I think it will look pretty comfortable in colder places, or maybe in campsites, which I'm planning to go within these 2 weeks with my husband. I'll take this to the camp, and I'm gonna have a very good time sipping coffee, enjoying the nature with my knitted item. So what else can I talk about this? Yeah, okay, the yarns that I used were actually last year's strip extravaganza's kit. I did 3 different kits last year, and this year for the new MKAL, the shawlography MKAL, I did 5 Last year I did three kits, and this is one of them. It's called Amabie's Prophecy. If you don't know, Amabie is actually a mythical creature in the Japanese lore that helps, that gives you a wish or to protect you from illness and harm. And I thought of this colorway when the coronavirus hit us like 2 years ago. Last year or 2 years ago, I don't remember. No, November last year. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that was the time where I thought of this colorway. And alongside this colorway, the blue one is Amabie's Wishes, Amabie's Wish. The whole kit is called Amabie's Prophecy, but the name of the yarn is called Amabie's Fortune. Yeah, I think I got it right. Okay. Then alongside Amabie's Fortune is the white one with some pop colors. This is the Heavenly Maid's Robe. Yeah, Tenyo no Hagoromo in Japanese. And also this one is called Honey So Sweet, and the dark brown one is called Good Harvest. So these are the 4 colors that I use in this Extravaganza shawl. So huge. I actually went to a photo shoot during the weekend with my husband, and because it was the golden hour, the sunlight was really beautiful, but the time was also quite tight. The shooting window was very small for us. So because I'm the better photographer, my husband had to be my model for this shawl. But he wasn't really happy about it, but he cooperated nonetheless. So I'm very happy about the result. But what I'm not really satisfied with was that I wasn't in most of the shots, so probably I'll have to reshoot it for my own. Yeah, because I made it, so I want to be in my photo shoot. Okay, so that's all for FOs. But I mean, my god, this is huge! I'm so happy I managed to finish it! Show again. I still want to show it again. Okay, let's proceed. The next segment is the WIPs, WIPs. So what I have in progress now is a new MKAL by Amirisu. I'm not supposed to show this until Friday, but I think I'm gonna upload this video on Friday or midnight tonight, which is Thursday. So I'm gonna show you first. You're the first to see. Ta-da! This is Amirisu's Mystery KAL bag, which comes with a tag. See, how cute is this? So you're supposed to, I mean, it's up to you, but you can use this tag and sew it onto your shawl when you're done. This is the first year that Amirisu is doing a mystery KAL. Before I talk about the KAL, I will show you my progress. So this is what I've done so far. It's a bit out of character of me to use this kind of colorway, but I was thinking so long and hard for a perfect color to go with it, but I just couldn't find the perfect one, so I just had to settle with something in order to chase the timeline for completion. But yeah, I think at the end the whole look a bit like a kimono. And I really love this part of the KAL, of the shawl. I made some butterflies. See, these are all butterfly stitches. And because it's on a very dark background, I couldn't really see the butterflies well. So I add on some suri. On these stitches to make them more prominent. Yeah, so we are on week 2 now. Tomorrow onwards we'll be on week 3. Week 1 I've completed the top part, and week 2 I've completed this part. The pattern is actually pretty simple. It's nothing too complicated. The problem I have with this mystery KAL, unfortunately, is that the instruction is not very clear, and there were a few mistakes here and there. And most importantly, there is no gauge given. They actually gave a measurement of the triangle, this part, but they do not give a gauge. So I think it is not so well prepared on their end, because I think gauge is something that is very fundamental, because even though it's just a shawl, many knitters, tight knitters or loose knitters, I mean, some people might not even like the fabric at the end if the gauge is wrong. So what I wanted to say is, I think they should have done a better job by being more prepared, or even like tag edited, or even postpone the whole mystery KAL before they launch it, because I feel that it was launched quite haphazardly. But yeah, since it has already started, I'll just go along with it. This Amirisu's MKAL is for 5 weeks, starting 2 weeks ago. So coming Friday, which is tomorrow, is gonna be the 3rd week. So yeah, it seems to be quite a small shawl so far. The required yarn is about 700 plus. Yeah, 700 plus total. And let me show you the yarn that I'm using. The dark one I use is this. Is by Mominoki yarn called Ink. And in the base, Sock Happy is their new base. I just got it recently. It's part of the acquisitions that I want to talk about. I'm sorry, my eyes is hurting again. Yeah, so this is from Mominoki yarn. It's in the base called Sock Happy, the color Ink. It's actually their new base. It's just launched recently, and it's also part of my acquisition that I want to talk about later. And the next one that I use on the stripes, this part of the stripes, the white one with speckles is Jackal from ITOBITO, my own yarn. And also on the stripe part, the orange red color is this color, is not named yet, and it's actually one of the first color that I've ever experimented on, and it was being revised recently to something that I liked more compared to last year. Yeah, so this is also a new base that I'm gonna introduce in the autumn collection. Is from Daruma. Daruma is a local yarn maker, and this is one of their signature base. It's 100% merino, 320 meters long, and 2-ply. Yeah, it's very sturdy. It's a very sturdy yarn base, and it feels very good on the hands. I can't wait to introduce it in my next shop update. Then for suri, I use these two colors. This is Hanami. I've actually mentioned this before. I did it on a beanie, a brioche beanie, before I used this on my brioche beanie. And this is in Peach Perfect. Also an experimented color Den, which I'm using now. And the last but not least is Vintage Air in the Daruma base as well. I think I'm gonna name the Daruma base as Daru Merino, but I'm not 100% confirmed yet. Yeah, please stay tuned for it. Actually, this wasn't the initial D color that I wanted to use. It was something else, but it looked too boring with this color combination, so I changed up the D color to a green color. It was actually a very soft pink. Yeah, so that is my progress so far for this shawl. But I would also like to share another colorway that I did, because I really had a lot of trouble with this MKAL initially. I actually did 4 times of the triangle. This triangle part I did 4 times with 4 different type of yarn. This is one of the initial ones that I did. Is in a sparkle sock base by Kusunike, and these two blends, this stripe is for the suri part is Peach Perfect that I showed earlier, and the purple one is a new color that I just introduced not long ago. In the previous update is called Senshi Banko. Multitude of colors. Yeah, but I feel that it darkened the whole piece, feel a bit dark, and I didn't want to dye up new colors for this MKAL, because I'm not sure how the colors correlate with each other. So this year is something like an experimental year for me to see how Amirisu do their MKALs. Okay, my next WIP is my deal sweater. I have finished since the last time that I mentioned about this sweater. I finished the hem already, and now I'm working on my first sleeve. I'm actually at the cuff. I'm near to the cuff already, and I hope I can finish it today, hopefully, so that I can concentrate on my MKAL for the rest of the month. But I still have the collar left, and also the left sleeve. But I hope I can finish it when we are nearing to autumn. Actually, it's the start of autumn already, but it's still bloody hot every day. So yeah, I hope I can use this. I can wear this during the colder months. So this is my progress so far. Nothing much that I can talk about it, but yeah. The yarn that I used again was Vintage Air in Merino lace, which is unfortunately already discontinued. My supplier is not producing this anymore, but it's such a good non-superwash base that I really love. The color came out really nice, a bit different than what I'm normally used to, but the effect is so beautiful. Yeah, it's a waste, but hopefully I can find another supplier which can give me this kind of non-superwash merino base. And the other color that I mixed with is sea glass in merino single ply. So it's actually held double to produce a sport weight yarn. Sport weight it's a sport weight sweater, and yeah, that's all for my whips. Next, I want to show you something really happy, which is actually my yarn that I'm gonna use for Stephen West's Sholography MKAL. So these are the yarns. This is also one of the kits that I made for the MKAL. This is a more softer color yarn. Is a more softer color kit compared to the other four. I'm not sure how to pronounce because it's a Swedish word or Norwegian word, I think. It's called Hygge. Hygge, I think. Hygge. Yeah. And these are all really soft, low contrast colors. I'm looking forward to see how they'll knit up. I'm guessing it'll be a color work shawl like this, where the colors will colorate well together with each other. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll be winding this up tonight, or maybe just after this, and yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow. Now let's talk about acquisitions. But before that, I need some tea. I'm having mugicha. I'm having mugicha. I think it's called wheat tea in English. It's my go-to drink these days because the weather is so hot. Yeah, acquisitions. So the first acquisition I would like to talk about is Mominoki yarn. These two are actually my first Mominoki yarn from Germany, and both of these are non-superwash sock based sock yarn with 80% wool, merino wool, and 20% biodegradable polyamide. Yeah, I find most of the time I find that non-superwash yarns are a bit scratchy, but not for this. This is really, really nice. It's so plumpy, but it's not scratchy at all, and you can feel that it's gonna be a very tough yarn that you can work with. Very sturdy kind of yarn, and at the same time it's also very soft. So if I'm ever going to use to make or to get a base, a non-superwash base for my fingering weight yarns, I'll probably go for this type of yarn because I really love it. And and at the same time it's also biodegradable, means it's really good for the environment. So yeah, but I'm not sure where I can get this base. Probably is their own special blend that they get. They commission a mill or something to do it for them. Yeah, since they are big enough, I think they can do it. And actually both of these colors are also not the colors that I would normally go for, but because of that, exactly because of that, I would like to try. Now this is in a color called walnut. And this is ink. Which is also what I'm using in the Amirisu shawl. Okay, then I would like to talk about my new acquisition for Hiya Hiya needles. In some of my previous videos, I have mentioned that I didn't like Hiya Hiya needles, and I did not know what is the hype about. But I've tried the steel version. Previously, I bought the sharp version, which is in the blue cord. The steel version is in green cord, and I find that I like this so much better because of the tip is not as sharp as the Hiya Hiya sharp, and it doesn't hurt my fingers so much, and at the same time it's really lightweight. I feel that it's even lighter weight than ChiaoGoo. Also the cord is also thinner and more softer than ChiaoGoo. So even if you do something like this, they'll still go back to its original form, which I think is really good. And I'm getting used to this to knitting with these Hiya Hiya steel needles, and I actually quite like it. So I'm taking back my comment about not liking Hiya Hiya. It's just that I didn't manage to find the perfect one for me. But now I think I like the steel version of the Hiya Hiya needles. So I'll probably be switching between ChiaoGoo and Hiya Hiya for my knitting needs. And I got this in 120 cm because it's actually for the shawlography shawl, because the one that I used for extravaganza was actually in 100 cm, I think. I forgot it was 80 or 100 cm, but it was too tight and I didn't really enjoy the tightness. So I bought a much longer cord so that it'll ease up the tension maybe, and also the tightness of knitting. Okay, and then my next acquisition is actually this project bag. It says Yarnivore. So fun. It's simple but fun. It says Yarnivore. Yes, I'm a Yarnivore. Okay, actually, this project bag is from Kickstarter. I forgot the name of the person who did this already, but I can search it up and I'll put it in the description below. What came together with this bag was a t-shirt as well, and you can actually choose a number of words that you want to be printed on the fabric. I chose Yarnivore in this pastel pink color, but there are also other pastel color like mint green, blue, yellow, I think. So my My t-shirt actually says Dyer in mint green color. I think I'm gonna wear it next video to show it to you. But I like the simplicity of this of the design. It's just a very simple word, but it's in a very cute color that I like. So yeah, this is my new project bag, and I'm using it with for my dew sweater project. So everything about dew sweater is gonna go in there. I think it can fit about 4 balls of yarns without the project. And what I'm doing now is just putting 2 balls of yarn, and it's I cannot even fit the sweater. Maybe I can fit like half of the sweater inside. But if you are just planning to use it as a yarn holder, I think you can fit about 4 to 6 balls of yarns. No problem there. Yeah, so that's all for acquisitions. And the next one I want to talk about is just some announcement. Yeah, normally I would mention this in the beginning of the video, but now I want to push it to the back because I find that some of the announcements were not so happy. So I don't want to start the video with an unhappy note. The pop-up that I was supposed to do with Hankyu Umeda is already cancelled, as you know, because it's supposed to be at the end of last month to 5th of October, which is a few days ago. So it was cancelled because there were some disagreement between myself and the management. We couldn't come to an agreement on something, so we have to cancel the pop-up event. I mean, I have to cancel my attendance to the pop-up event. So yeah, that was what happened. Initially I was actually really hyped up about attending the event because it's my first time doing a pop-up store, and also my first time doing a pop-up store in a department store, so it's a big deal for me. So because it's already been cancelled, I mean, I'm also relieved because it gave me more time to work on my event calendars and also the MKALs. But at the same time, I was also quite disappointed that I couldn't attend at the end. But hopefully in future, we might be able to find a solution for the problem that we had previously, and hopefully one day that I can attend their pop-up store again. Okay, then the next announcement that I would like to talk about is the ALU pop-up store that I was mentioning in my previous video. That is still ongoing, and it's gonna be in November, next month, 20th of November if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I have not mentioned this on my Instagram yet, on my website yet, only in this video. But I will put up an official announcement when I'm ready, and with all the mechanics and whatever that I'm gonna do during the pop-up. Sorry for the interruption. It always happens in the middle of a recording because I have to change the battery. So what was I saying? Yeah, so that's all I have to say about the announcement. Yeah, a bit of an update on what I'm doing now is also I am working on the advent calendars now. I will probably be finishing all of them by the end of the month, if not in about 2 weeks time. But I also have to sort out some of the not publication, but the printing that I am doing is actually something I cannot reveal it in any way, but it's something to do with printing and design, and it's gonna be really beautiful, and it's gonna be in the event calendar. Because it's the first time that I'm doing an event calendar, I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it again next year. Probably I will, but I'm not sure yet, so I cannot guarantee. But because this is the first year I'm doing it, I want to make it very memorable. So it's gonna be a printed thing, a designed printed thing. So yeah, it's gonna be really fun and enjoyable, and I hope the whoever that receive the box of event calendars will love it as well. Other than that, some logistics that I had to sort out about the event calendar thing as well. Yeah, but most of the things that I need to do, I'm already doing or I've already done. So my checklist is pretty much okay with event calendar. Another thing that popped up is not a new thing. It was an ongoing thing, but it was pushed earlier. I also couldn't reveal what it is, but all I can say is my yarns are going far away. Yeah, so that's the only thing that I can reveal. My yarns are going somewhere, maybe nearer to where you are staying, but it'll be further away from me. Yeah, so that is all I can reveal now, and it's gonna be sold in before Thanksgiving or in Thanksgiving. You'll be around then. That's all I can say. Okay, that's all for this episode. My cat is being a ruckus now, so he's trying to give me a sign that I should stop this, so I'm stopping now. See you next time in episode 7. Bye bye.